If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal.
Arne Slot outlines VAR frustration as Liverpool claim made after Galatasaray. Liverpool has work to do in the second half of its Champions League tie against Galatasaray, with Arne Slot left frustrated by the performance of referee Jesus Gil. Arne Slot was frustrated by the referee's performance as his Liverpool side lost 1-0 to Galatasaray in the Champions League, with Mario Lemina scoring the only goal of the game. In the second half at Rams Park, Ibrahima Konate put the ball in the back of the net, only for a VAR check to reveal that the ball went in off his arm. As a result, the goal was chalked off, and Liverpool was unable to get back into the game ahead of the return leg at Anfield next Wednesday. It's always very difficult to talk to referees in situations like that because they have communication with the VAR, so they have to listen to what is being said, Slot said in his post-match press conference. If it's correct that the goal was disallowed, which is difficult for me to judge because I heard different opinions from people and it's not completely obvious, so that is already one thing. But let's say the decision was right, then I was even more frustrated about the fact every free kick and every corner kick we took, if you only look at Galatasaray players, the referee already gave a free kick for Galatasaray. If you then look at how much they pulled on Virgil's shirt before the ball hit Ibu's arm, then it's safe to say we were not the only one impressed by the atmosphere here today. The decision to rule out the Konate goal was the right one, but Liverpool only had itself to blame for not scoring. Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike had big chances, and the Reds didn't attack at their best. I think they were quite involved, to be honest, especially in the first half where they had a lot of involvement. Slot, speaking about his forward line, insisted. They were, a lot of times close to very promising situations, or even chances, because it felt to me at half-time we missed an opportunity. We missed an opportunity to score a goal to be in a much better position than we were at half-time. But the reality was that we weren't, and then we came out in the second half, immediately get a good chance for Alexis McAllister's shot, and of course not much later the one-on-one for Hugo. I think they had their moments. In an away game in Europe, you cannot expect 15 chances for them, but the quality players they are usually, and another time they will be able to, get more out of these situations than we did today. Liverpool faces Tottenham next in the Premier League. That game is on Sunday before the return leg against Galatasaray 3 days later.
Dominik Szoboszlai paid ultimate compliment after best season for Liverpool yet. Dominik Szoboszlai has come in for plenty of praise this season for his performances, with the Liverpool star being compared to a club hero in the ultimate compliment. Former Liverpool defender Glenn Johnson has compared Dominik Szoboszlai to Steven Gerrard in the ultimate compliment to the midfield maestro. The Hungarian international has been a standout performer for the Reds during an otherwise inconsistent season, coming up with some important displays. His ability to play impressive passes, score from set pieces, and lead the team by example has led to those Gerrard comparisons. Johnson is the latest to make the connection when speaking to Boyle Sports, given the similarities between the pair. On that comparison, he said, "I can see slight similarities between Szoboszlai and Gerrard. With Stevie, we all knew his role, but he could play anywhere. And when Szoboszlai signed, I thought that during the period when they signed him and a few others, he's the most exciting one for me. Now he's kicking on even more. But with Stevie, it's hard for anyone to be compared to Stevie. He's been there, done it, been one of the all-time greats in the Premier League across a 15-year spell. That's not a criticism of Szoboszlai. I think he's doing great. I think Stevie was Stevie, and that's hard to compare. But yeah, the way he's playing, he's a fantastic player. He's winning games and controlling games, heavily involved in games. So yeah, he's without a doubt one of the first names on the team sheet for me." Szoboszlai will certainly hope he can follow in the footsteps of Gerrard, who became a legend during his long stint at Anfield. The 25-year-old has made a dent in the career the midfielder has had, having won a Premier League and EFL Cup during his time at Liverpool so far. This season alone, the Hungarian midfielder has hit double figures for goals, scoring 10 times and assisting 8 goals across all competitions. They have all been important contributions during a tough season, with plenty of hope that he can continue that to rescue some positives before the end of the campaign. Gerrard himself has given tips for Szoboszlai on how to improve, having watched plenty of the midfielder during his time at Anfield. He told TNT Sports earlier this month, "He's really stepped forward. It's gone to another level now. One of the best strikers of the ball I've seen for a long time. He needs to keep arriving from a number 10 or an attacking 8 position. He can get more goals and take his game to the next level." Equally, Arne has been ringing the praises of Szoboszlai, having joined in with the discussion to say, "Dominic has a lot of qualities. He is an all-round player, an all-round midfielder, a modern midfielder in my opinion. Last season he was already very good, mainly off the ball, a bit on the ball, and I think this season he has improved his game on the ball. Off the ball, he's top 3, 4, or 5 in the world, and maybe the best in the world in terms of pressing. It is certainly top praise for a player who has deserved it, but the ultimate goal for Szoboszlai now is to step up when the matches truly matter at a crunch point in the season."
What should really concern Arne Slot as Liverpool boss gets familiar feeling. Ian Doyle with the verdict from Istanbul after Liverpool's Champions League round of 16 first leg 1-0 defeat at Galatasaray on Tuesday evening. So much for a happy 100. Arne Slot suffered a dose of déjà vu as Liverpool's hopes of Champions League glory were once again dented in Istanbul. On an evening when the Dutchman reached a century of games in charge at Anfield, his team were beaten for the second time this season by Galatasaray, amid the whistles and din at Rams Park in this round of 16 first leg. As with the league stage meeting in September, it was an early goal that did the damage, with former Wolves midfielder Mario Lemina heading in from a corner after only 7 minutes. The real frustration for Slot will be how the remainder of the match echoed not just that clash, but the season as a whole. This was a performance all too familiar, and one that has happened far too often this campaign, a chance spurned to build on the momentum of Friday's FA Cup win at Wolves and lay down an early marker in the Champions League knockout stages. True, poor luck also played a part, as, similar to 6 months ago, Liverpool were left to rue a VAR decision. Back then, Ibrahima Konate won a penalty only for it to be overturned. This time, the Frenchman had a goal disallowed for an unintentional handball, with Slot questioning the failure to award a penalty for what appeared an obvious foul on Virgil van Dijk. Certainly, some of the officiating from referee Jesus Gil Manzano, quite how the Reds ended up with 4 players booked to one of Galatasaray as a mystery, suggested the Spanish official had been swept up by the noisy atmosphere. But once again, the Reds' wounds were primarily self-inflicted, the visitors failing to turn territorial dominance into real opportunities, and when they did, Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike declined gilt-edged chances. Of course, there shouldn't be any great teeth-gnashing and fist-waving at this loss. The tie is only at the halfway stage, and while Liverpool have work to do in the return next Wednesday, they will remain favourites to progress. The real concern will come from those recurring shortcomings and a handful of alarming individual displays, none more so than Konate, who was outpaced in the build-up to the concession of the match-winning corner and was very fortunate to escape after a number of major blunders during a jittery display that evoked memories of his difficult first half of the campaign. Wirtz, making his first start in 4 games after a back problem, was worryingly peripheral, while Dominic Szoboszlai apart, the midfield struggled to function as a unit. At least there was a bonus in the performance of Georgi Mamardashvili. With Alisson Becker having picked up a problem during training the previous day, Mamardashvili started in goal, having stepped in here earlier in the season when his Brazilian teammate picked up a hamstring issue in the second half. He had no chance with the decisive goal and made a number of solid stops, particularly before the interval when Galatasaray were at their most dangerous. As with Slot,